Hey, the Flawed One here with yet another review, this time Above the Rim, directed by Jeff Pollock. And I looked him up. The only other movies he's done, and I've seen both, are Booty Call, which I remember being in, and Lost and Found, which is a David Spade movie. I remember being kind of funny. I used to work in a movie theater, and I remember seeing it for free. We used to get the free movies. It was alright. This is probably, of the three films he's directed, probably the best one I've seen. Because this was a pretty good movie. Seen it before, don't remember much about it. It stars Dwayne Martin, who I remember from Scream 2, big horror guy. So anyone from the Scream movies, I'll remember. He's this upstart basketball player, really cocky with his abilities, but he knows he's good. Kind of a ball hog. Uh, his teammates don't really care for him that much at first. He showboats and grandstands, and there's a Georgetown scout who ends up being in the crowd in the beginning of the film, who's not interested in him because of his showboating and grandstanding. So basically, he has to mature. Um, but then he has problems because whose attention he does get is like they portray him kind of like a gang leader, but he's not really like a gang, but he kind of is. Played by Tupac. Tupac has always been. I'm not big into hip hop music, but I do like some of his stuff. But as an actor, everything I've seen him in, he's freaking solid. He's a pretty good actor, and here he does a great job being intimidating, being a force to be reckoned with. Uh, I forgot the actor's name, but the guy who's like his henchman is the one guy from Remember the Titans, Julius from Remember the Titans, and he does a really good job too. Kind of like his muscle, Tupac's muscle. Um, and Tupac's brother in the film is a security guard that Dwayne Martin's character befriends a little bit until he starts dating his mom, and then there's kind of conflict there, but ends up being okay. But Tupac and his brother is played by the actor Leon, who you might remember from Cool Runnings. He was one of the bad guys at Cliffhanger. Um, he's Tupac's brother in the movie, and they've lost a father. He keeps playing this game by himself, where he's remembering a game he played with his dad, because his dad meant a lot to him. Uh, so it seems, and then Leon kind of not befriends, but his character kind of uh, guides the Dwayne Martin character into kind of being more mature and being more like of a man. He's kind of intimidating towards him and antagonistic a bit. Um, but the coach of Dwayne Martin wants him to be like mentoring him kind of, and he kind of does. And then he starts dating his mom, like I said, and Dwayne Martin's character doesn't like that at all, and a little bit of friction there. Um, but anyway, there's a point where he finally does get a scholarship to Georgetown because there's a scout there, and but Tupac's character basically says you're not going anywhere because I pretty much own your ass, and then it ends with kind of like a final game, like most sports movies do, but it's Tupac's team versus the coach's team. Don't want to spoil much of that, but it ends up being kind of cliched, but still a good feel good moment when it ends. Marlon Wayans is also in the movie, doing his usual comic shtick. He's got some serious moments to deal with too, but he plays Dwayne Martin's friend. Um, does a great job. I've seen him in. If you ever seen Requiem for a Dream, you know he can do drama as well. But he does his typical shtick as well, where he's goofy and funny. Um, but yeah, a great soundtrack too. Because I watch movies when I do this thing all the way to the end after the credits, just in case there's a post-credit scene, which is more of a thing nowadays. But it happened back then too. And when "Regulate" by Warren G came out at the end, I forgot, and I looked up the soundtrack. It's full of Snoop Dogg tunes or and Tupac tunes and that "Regulate" song. And I think I might have to see. Like I said, I'm not a big hip hop fan, but if I am, it's the '80s and the '90s era. Not so big on the stuff nowadays, but it is what it is. But Yeah, so this was a good one. Hadn't seen it. I had this Mandela effect though when I watched it. I remember when I saw it before, I had thought Leon and Tupac were also brothers with the Dwayne Martin character. That's what I kind of remembered, and I was completely wrong when I watched it again. So I was a little confused when it first started. When just certain incidents where you can tell they weren't brothers in the movie. When I thought that's how it was going. I don't know what movie I was actually thinking of, but it's not this one. But um, the book is over there. Hold on, let me come over here really quick. Taking you with me because I need to check. That was my medication. You heard me crunching. Well, actually, a water bottle near my medication. That's why these things are unfiltered, unedited, and raw. I was gonna look at the ranking here. Let's see. Hold on one moment. I can find it. Above the rim. Not about a boy. Sorry, this is taking too long. I'm actually not in a lit. I'm going to use my flashlight on my phone. Well, you see above the rim. Okay. The Malton book gives it 2.5 stars. I think it's a little bit better than that, actually. I'll give it 3. The performances were really good. Uh, it's basically a sports drama with like urban violence. So you kind of fit in sports drama with the movies, kind of like Menace to Society and Juice and South Central and Boys in the Hood, stuff like that. So it kind of plays into that as well. So you get that mixed with like kind of like a sports coming of age, not really coming of age, but sports kind of like the Rocky story in a way. Take that back, not Rocky, Karate Kid. Like, kind of like that story where he's cocky and then yeah. But everyone does a great job. His mom, I had the actress's name here. Tonya Pinkins, she does a good job. Bernie Mac, I just saw that. He's also in the movie. He plays a long life friend of the Leon character who's actually homeless, and then shit happens with him and the Tupac character. I won't spoil it, but plays a homeless guy who actually is pretty good at basketball, and he plays Dwayne Martin's character at one point, and he's pretty good. He has a past with the Leon character, and yeah, so it's all these intertwining relationships. You got Dwayne Martin, the cocky kid who needs to grow up, get a scholarship, and overcome the odds. The Leon character who's got issues himself, and he's got like standoffish, but he's dating the mom. Um, Tupac's like the gang leader, tough guy, uh, pretty much antagonist villain of the movie. Um, Bernie Mac's the homeless friend of Leon, and kind of also somewhat antagonistic, but he with the Dwayne Martin character. But I think there's some respect there. The mom did a great job, and Marlon Wayans also did a great job as well. Even though there's some points where he's typical Marlon Wayans in the movie, but the dramatic stuff that he does get to perform and showcase actually worked really well. Like I said, a little cliched, but didn't bother me. I recommend it if you're into like basketball movies or like the urban type Boys in the Hood type movies I mentioned earlier. Also, because that is not the full focus of the film, but it is an aspect of it as well. So be prepared for that. There is a little bit of violence. There is like the typical stuff when it comes to that kind of film, mixed with melodrama, sports melodrama. But I recommend it. I liked it, and yeah, that does it for this review. And I'll see you in the next one. Okay, have a good day.